Good morning. Before we start Mishlei today, I just wanted to thank the latest patrons who have contributed to my Patreon, who I believe I have not mentioned by name yet. Gabi, Ariel, Ezra, Yaakov, Donnie, Johnny, Terry, Isaac, Elliot, Jonah, and Daniel. Thank you so much for contributing. As I've said before, keeping up these podcasts and you get the quality you pay for, and I'm trying to make high quality Torah content here. So every dollar helps, and I now have 3 podcasts, and a 4th is on the way. So thank you very much for those who have contributed. And without further ado, here comes Mishlei. My apologies to those who only like going in order. We're doing an out of order pasuk. The context of this, I don't know if we need to know the context, and I almost don't want to prejudice you, but I'll tell you the context of which it came up, and which is the final cause for for me selecting this material for today is in my Lomdeha class. Then I'm doing the Mishnah and Pirkei Avos of Hevidan Es Kol Adam L'Kaf Zechus. You should judge each person favorably. So quick breakdown, the way the Rambam has it is he says there's 3 categories. There's the person whose actions you don't know and who does an action that can be interpreted 2 ways. Then you don't have to be Dan L'Kaf Zechus, but the Mishnah is saying that it's derech chasidus. It's going beyond the letter of the law to judge him favorably. Right. Someone who is a known tzaddik and he does righteous actions, so even if he does something that is like it seems really bad, you have to go out of your way to interpret it for good. And then someone who's a rasha, who's known to be evil, if he does something that seems to be good, you have to go out of your way to interpret it as bad. And the Rambam ends that with quoting this pasuk. Right. So since I'm teaching that today, I wanted to just see if there's any additional nuance that we get from the pasuk. And then just in terms of the methodology thing, you'll notice this is in Perek Chav Vav. So just, I think I've said this in the very beginning, but Perek Chav He and on until 30, I guess Chav He through 29 is Mishlei Shlomo Shehetiku Anshe Chizkiyahu. So it's the Mishlei Shlomo that were transcribed by Anshe Chizkiyahu. And I take it that transcribed does not just mean that they wrote it down word for word, because then who cares who transcribed it? It's they all sound different. They, not all, but most of them, you can pass that to Joe when he gets there. They sound different in style. If I had to say a characteristic, 3 characteristics of the pesukim from chapters 25 through 29 is they're very blunt. They're not cryptic. A lot of them are just straight up mashalim. Like this is like this, And then the third one is that they are, I forgot. I'm just on the tip of my tongue. Third one is, they have a lot more explicit directions in terms of actions, like you should do this or you shouldn't do that. Okay, so I think 24 and 25 go together. The Rambam only quotes 25, pasuk 25, but I think 24 and 25 go together. Maybe 26 does, but I didn't want to bite off more than I could chew. Okay, so let's do 24 and 25 and see where it takes us.
By the way, reading on my mission says something similar.
Okay, good. Yeah, it seemed like everyone who I read who came after the Rambam agreed with the Rambam. Okay, so Joe, I was just saying we're doing this one because we read this in the Rambam last night. That's why we're doing it out of order. Okay, Bisfasav Yinacher Sone Uvekirbo Yashis Mirma Ki Chanin Kolo Al Tamenbo Ki Sheva Toevos Belibo. Okay, so let's take this one step at a time. So 24, how would you translate that?
In his lips.
Yinacher is weird, right?
He will recognize.
So I think Yinacher must be related to that shorish wise, but Yinacher is to be estranged or to make yourself not recognized, right? Like it's what it uses by Yosef and his brothers, I believe. Okay, so with his lips, I'm gonna say with his lips for now because I think I think with is gonna work out better than in. With his lips, the sone.
Hatred.
Person.
Hated person.
I think the hater. I think.
Yeah.
Sona. Yeah, right. The we'll say the hater for now. Okay. should I spell it with the numeral 8? Will Yinacher, will make himself not recognizable. Let's just do it in a cumbersome way right now. Not recognizable. Uvakirbo Yashis Mirma.
And in his midst.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say midst because we're talking about one person. So
His presence.
in his innards, I'd say, in his inside
him.
right? Because midst is like a crowd, right? So in his insides, Yashis Mirma.
He will destroy deceit, or deceit will destroy.
So I think Yashis is from the word like the same shorish as like shas. Or I don't know what the shasa, like not shasa, that's that we did drink. Is it related to shas? Ki shasa lukim zera acher. He like to place or he sets, I think. Okay. He places or sets deceit. Okay. We'll see what the Mefarshim is saying in a second. Translation saying in a second. Okay. And then 25. Ki chanin kolo.
Because his voice will produce favor.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So he. So I don't know if this is I think this is actually going to be a key as when, because it's going to give us an instruction in a second. So when his voice, I'll say, produces favor. Al taminbo. Don't believe him. Ki sheva toevos belibo.
Is that 7?
Yeah, there are 7
like
abominations in his heart. Okay. Yeah. All right. So if you will look at the Mitzvah Stion, first of all, this is a good methodology principle here. Mitzvah Stion on 25, actually. I don't think there is one on 24. At least all Torah doesn't have. 25 says Sheva Rotalam or Harbe. Okay. Just means a lot. Have you ever heard the theory? I don't know if this is an actual like if this is stated anywhere in the Mefarshim, but have you ever heard the theory that there are only 3 numbers in Judaism?
I think I've heard something like this.
Yeah, that and I think I first heard this in the context of Korbanos, but it seems like a good theory. The only numbers in Judaism are 1, 2, and 7.
1, 2.
Yeah, so 1 is the basic unit. You obviously need 1, right? 2 means multiple, and 7 means a lot. You know,
like 10 and 40.
All of them are just 40 is an interesting one, right? But
10 is just 10 times 1 or whatever.
Yeah, right. Meaning all of them are going to be like variants of this. So let's say, for example, when you have like 8, right? So 8 is going to be like, I'll get another identity of 7, by the way. 7 is like a complete cycle, you know? So 8 is always going to be like 1 more than the complete cycle, you know? Like let's say like Bris Milah is like the natural thing, and then plus 1, or like Shmini Etzer, you know? And then, yeah, anyway. So this supports the reading of 7 as just like a stand-in for like many, you know? And like 70 is like super many, you know, or like all possible ones, you know? Okay. Then you've got Sadigon, who says the same thing on Pasuk 25. Ki Sheva is Ki Harbe Min HaToevos Yesh Belibo. Right? So that's just straight up. Okay. Targum I didn't have a chance to look at yet. I just copied and pasted it. So Targum on 24 says, Man Sifavase Misyada Sana'a. So I don't know if this is man as in someone who, or if it's from. Oh, you have min. Okay, that makes a lot more sense than man. All right. So min sifavase misyada sana'a, from his lips. So he does say, like you did, yes, known misyada sana'a. The enemy, the hated one, hateful one is known. Uvagave sa'im ramyusa, and in his person, in his body, literally like gav. I don't know what sa'im means, but I'm going to assume it just means yashis. Okay, deceit. Okay, then 25 is in mechanin bakale. I think that's although he is mechanin with his voice. Lo sehemin be, don't believe him. Metul disava bishasa is believe it, because there are 7 bad things in his heart. Okay, fine. So that's just pretty much straight up. And then let me just read to you the English ones here. Art Scroll says, with his lips, the foe, okay, acts estranged, and then in brackets from hatred.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's quite a lot there. Yeah, but within himself he casts deceit. So cast is saying yashis. Though his voice is ingratiating, meaning it tries to produce graciousness, or favor. Do not trust him, for there are 7 abominations within his heart. Okay. The Living Nach says the malevolent man. That's how they're translating Sone. disguises himself. Oh, disguises is good. I think that's how he uses by Yosef. I got to check later on. The malevolent man disguises himself with his lips and harbors deceit within. When his voice pleads, okay, so that's a different meaning of Yechanein. So like chonein is like to beg, right? So when his voice pleads, do not believe him, for 7 abominations are in his heart. And then Alter says, by his lips, oh my goodness, by his lips, a foe dissembles. Don't even know what that means.
I feel like he always just takes Arturo and like twists it a little.
Yeah, I mean, he must.
It's like deceit.
What was that?
It's like lying.
Dissemble is? Oh, interesting. I've never heard of that usage.
Isn't he supposed to be like an academic who like knows how to translate things?
Yeah, but so that's what I'm guessing, that he's taking this from. I didn't actually look at his commentary, but I'm guessing he takes this from Yenacher. Like this is a translation of Yenacher, you know. He's not just doing it for fun. He's not just doing it to like get a rise out of us. In fact, let me actually click on the concordancia for the for Al Torah and just see what they say Yenacher is. Oh, let me finish reading the also first, actually. By his lips, a foe dissembles, and within he lays out deceit. Though he makes his speech fair, that's another translation of Yechanein. That I don't like. When does chonein or chanan or chana mean fair? Do not trust him, for 7 loathsome things are in his heart. Okay, fine. All right, I'm going to just look at this. Okay, so according to Al Torah, nachar means to know or be acquainted with, or to be shrewd. Okay, like cunning. Or to not be recognized. Okay. Oh, here are more translations. Okay. Regard or observe, pay attention, pay regard to, okay. Recognize, be willing to recognize, acknowledge with honor, be acquainted with, distinguish, understand. Okay, lots of translations here. Okay, but then nacher could also be to act or treat as foreign or strange or disguise or misconstrue. Yeah, fine. And then it quotes our thing here as the first example here. With his lips, a hater disguiseth himself. Dissembles. There you go. Dissembles. It says dissembles here. Speaks what is foreign to his thought. Okay, fine. I'm going to go ahead and assume it means. I know the Targum said to make himself known. It sounds like the mainstream way of Yenacher is to make himself estranged or disguised, and it fits into the context, right? It sounds like he's a man of deceit. He's tricking you, right? So let's go with his lips. I'll say the enemy. Okay, the enemy will make himself, will disguise himself.
Wait, methodology one?
Yeah.
I know we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
Targum on Mishlei is just, you just consider it like any other pair. Sure.
Yeah, it's not like Unfless, yeah. Right. And it's not even Jonas Hamun Uziel. Yeah. Okay. So the enemy, I'm gonna say here's what the translation we're gonna go with for now. The enemy disguises himself with his lips, but in his innards, I'll say innards because I like innards. In his innards, he places deceit. He harbors deceit. I think it's actually better. He harbors deceit. When his voice produces favor, don't believe him, because there's 7 abominations in his heart.
Yeah, it seems like in both of them, there's like this dichotomy between like what he presents.
Yes.
And what he has inside.
Exactly. Right. And that is going to, again, just the backdrop here from the Rambam, not that we need to be guided by the Rambam, is that even when you see a Rasha do something that looks entirely good, you have to suspect that he's doing it for some deceitful manner. Again, just to point out the thing I said before, this is an example of how this is the pesukim from chapter 25 and on are telling you what to do. Right? Don't believe him. It's just like, this is like a normal sentence. When his voice produces favor, don't believe him, because there's 7 abominations in his heart. It's not like some cryptic, like, how do we even read it and make sense of it? Matzah Isha, Matzah, yeah.
Are there still like consequences that you're supposed to find? Like, is it still telling you consequences?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have not seen a difference in the purpose of these Mishlei. I think it's the same purpose, just different style. Okay, so what are the questions here?
Are we gonna read 26 to see?
Oh, yeah, you want to read it? I actually don't have it. Let me just get it up here. I accidentally closed the window. Look at that. Okay, I gotta open it up again. All right, 26. Whoa. Tikase sina b'mashaon. Wait, I gotta get the Tom in here. Okay. Tikase sina b'mashaon, tigale ra'aso v'kahal. I don't know what Masha'on is. I have no clue. Let me just look.
Covers hate in.
It will be his evil will be revealed in public. Yeah, you could see that being similar because it's like someone trying to conceal something. But I think let's just try taking 24 and 25 together. Okay, so what are the questions here? The advantage is the questions are more straightforward here, right? Certainly what's the Havamina, right? I mean, the Havamina is going to be based on the fact that like he's he's putting forward, like you're being taken in by his act, but we have to think about it because presumably you know that he's a Soneh. Because if you don't know he's a Soneh, then you can't apply the pasuk.
If you don't know he's a Soneh and his speech is favorable, then how are you going to?
Yeah, right. So what is the Havamina?
What is a Soneh?
Yeah, okay, good. What is the Havamina given the fact that you know this person to be a Soneh? Okay, and then what is a Soneh? Yeah. We should probably understand how is he being Yichanin Kolo, right? What is Yichanin Kolo?
And how is he dissembling?
Yeah. How is he being Yenacher? Yeah. You notice already the questions are just much more straightforward in these pesukim here. It's just like, because again, it's not a cryptic statement. It's just like, what does he mean? Yeah, right. Yeah. There's no syntactical ambiguity here at all. Like, okay. Is Yashis Mirma the same as Kishava Toivos Belibo? Sounds different, right? Yeah. So what is the difference? Or where's the relationship between Bekirbo Yashis Mirma and Kisheva Toevos Belibo? Yeah.
It sounds to me actually like that. The Mirma is about his actions, whereas the Shabbatay Belibo is his end.
Yeah. His what?
Ends.
His ends. Interesting. I would say I agree that the Mirma is about his. Actually, I don't even know if I agree.
You could have something else you're going to say.
Well, I was going to say Belibo. I always think of Belibo meaning like in his like core, in his essence, in his values. But I don't know. It could go either way.
Yeah, either of those. And
yeah.
The Mirma is specifically about his course of action.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's what was like. He's planning deceitful speech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that. It's definitely related to his speech. Yeah.
It's not the same as what's the Havamina, but 25 just seems superfluous after 24.
Yeah, I mean, it is giving giving a little bit more of an explanation of like, it's like a response to the, but like, because the first one is just saying no, but it's saying ki yichanin kolo. Like I think the Havamina is going to be attached to the yichanin kolo. Somehow you're getting stuck. You're getting trapped in by yichanin kolo. And like, and I agree that it's not like saying something completely new because that's kind of implied in bisfas of Yinacher, but it's like a explanation of how he's being Yinacher with his lips.
Well, I guess the question is, why do you need the first one? Like, it's kind of all there.
Yeah. Right. So I guess that this is like a one long pasuk that that could have been condensed, I guess.
I find myself tempted to recycle an idea from one of those.
Don't. I mean, you do see people make this mistake where they know someone's character, and like they know that the person is prone to being deceitful or lying, but then they say, well, maybe this time the person is telling the truth, or like this time they really mean it. And this is just a very basic level of saying it, but like it's basically saying, if you have to make a decision between evaluating like the action and like you got the action and you've got the character, judge the action in the light of the character, like basic thing, you know?
Yeah. I think it's addressing maybe they're turning over a new leaf.
Yes, yeah, that's another type of rationalization people use, or not rationalization, but explanation, justification. Yeah.
If they're turning over a new leaf, they don't want to like push them away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, it's going to be true sometimes.
Right. It's just this is saying that the assumption should be not, you know, like if they turn over a new leaf and then they prove it through like sustaining it and through many examples, then I think you should question whether they're still in the context of the category of a sonnet, you know? Should we look at Mefarshim here? Just, I feel like this is a little, you know, just, okay, what's the basic thing here? All right, so let's start off with Mitzvahs David. I haven't read any of the Mefarshim yet.
Uri seems to use a lot of things together.
Okay, all right, we'll hold them off for now. All right, so Mitzvahs David on 24. I can never read this word. Chalaklakus svasav, with the smoothness of his lips. Does not mean lip balm. Yase hasone atmo iluhu nachri min hasina. Oh, so that's where Arshel got it from. The enemy makes himself seem as though he's estranged from hatred. Nachri, that's the word. That's the other word that this comes from. Yeah, duh. That's the yeah.
But that was like obvious.
No, it was obvious. I just missed it. Yeah, I'm here grasping for like obscure translations. Okay. Now we just have to see if Alder translates Nachri as dissembler. Okay, so Kiluhu Nachri Minasina. So he makes himself as if he is estranged from hatred. Ve'ina Amdo? Ve'ina Amdo? Oh.
I think the hatred doesn't stand.
Yeah, okay. Meaning it didn't last. Val Bekerev Libo Yasim Hamirma Ve'ino Ozva. But in his heart, he places deceit and he has not abandoned it. Okay, so this is a different meaning of sonnet.
Right.
In fact, it's the more intuitive meaning. How's he translating sonnet here?
He's like mad at you.
Yeah, it's like an enemy, like an actual, like not like a malevolent man or whatever. You know, this is like this guy has hatred towards you. And then he's going to make it seem, he's going to like lure you into a false sense of security. He's going to make it seem like he doesn't hate you anymore and he's like moved past it, but really like it's in his heart, which makes it a little bit more difficult than the Rambam's application, because Rambam's talking about a known Russia, you know? So like that is much easier to like be on guard against and stay away from. Here it's like, this opens the category in one way and closes it in another category. It opens it in the sense that you're going to encounter more people like this than like full-fledged Rishaim, I think. I don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure. You know, like this is like in the course of like normal human life, there are going to be people who have like grudges against you or whatever, you know? But then on the other hand, this is also like narrowing it to a specific circumstance. Yeah.
But it still is like, it could be a person that you know bears grudges. Like
that could also be right.
You know, like obviously is not gonna. Yeah, he's gonna forgive me right away.
Yeah,
like you wouldn't necessarily.
That's true. All right, so let's see where he goes for the second one now.
This guy's so demented so far. Like, act like you don't hate someone, but like still harbor it.
I mean, it's a good way to get revenge if that's what your goal is, right?
No, it's like twisted.
Yeah. Kichane.
A lot of people actually do that.
Yeah, I think so also.
It's not like an uncommon thing.
Yeah. Kichanin im yisa kolo betachanunim. If he lifts his voice up in supplications. Al tamenbo kisheva toivos belibo. Wow, he doesn't explain the rest of that. Let's read the next one and just see if he does. The next pasuk was the tikase sina b'masha on, and then if you look at the mitzvah stion, masha on, he says is choshech. So he conceals his. Let's look at the mitzvah stuff now. Tikase kasher tiskase hasina b'choshech, when he. Or when you, yeah, well, isn't it tiskas is when you conceal the hatred in darkness?
Or she?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think this is the same. I don't think this is the same thing. Yeah, so he doesn't explain. It does sound like he really is treating 25 as just like virtually, you know, redundant, other than like saying how he's trying to appeal to you.
Well, he does change Yechane to tough tone.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's
elaborating.
Like begging forgiveness.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, it is a hard one. Like, how do you apply this? Because here, the turning over a new leaf really, it like, you know, I am tempted to say something like you said, that this is a person who harbors grudges.
Yeah.
But the pasuk doesn't present itself like that. It just presents him as a soneh.
Well. Yeah, I mean maybe that's what he's saying. Right? He's
But like,
the person who hates.
I'd say more generally that it's anyone that you have reason to think would hate you. Either not necessarily because they're bearing grudges, it's anyone that you should be suspicious of. I'm not exactly sure what the category is.
I just the thing that's troubling me is like, how will you know this from the case where you should forgive and where the person does turn over a new leaf, does decide to move past it?
I think the only way that you can know is because there's this phenomenon of pretending to do that but really holding on to it, then it has to be through like an extended period of it being clear that they're not.
I mean, maybe, but it's not mashma that way from the halachos. Like you look at the halachos about forgiving people and bearing a grudge, it seems like the ideal is you should be quick to forgive and like to accept that and like move on and especially like if you don't accept the person's supplications the first 3 times with the friends and stuff like that, then you're the choteh, so like how do you?
This isn't that you sin against. This isn't that you're not.
That's true. This person is the wrongdoer.
Yeah.
Wait. No, this person is the. Yeah. I mean, you're not asking them for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It's them saying that they don't hate you anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, let's look at a couple more Mefarshim. I don't feel like I got that much from them. Let's look at now Rabbeinu Yon. Oh, there's no Rabbeinu Yon here. Oh, that's another sad thing about the pesukim from. I don't know where his commentary stops. I mean, I think we lost his commentary, but like somewhere in the 20s, in the chapter 20s, not in his. Then
that's like pretty late. 1920.
Yeah, he lost his ragtime. Yeah. All right. Let's look at. Oh, you're right. The Meiri puts a whole lot of pesukim together. All right, let's ignore the Meiri. Who do we go to now? Let's look at Rashi. If he says misnacher mi HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then all right. Bisfasov yinacher soneh, b'diburo misnacher hasoneh, shelo yakiru bo shu soneh. Okay, fine. So he's trying to make it seem like he's not soneh. Yinacher is dishknushtert. What is that, Balaz? Disconcert. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Okay, that doesn't help us. And next one, Rashi. Okay, nothing. All right, next. Line them up. All right, let's go with the fake Ibn Ezra. So that's the Miyuchas of Ibn Ezra on the top right. What is he doing here? He puts Masha on first. The Masha on. Okay, where's his commentary on this? Oh, maybe that was from a previous pasuk. Second to the what?
I'm very confused about what's going on.
Me too. Let's go to the real Ibn Ezra. Also confusing. Valevra. Okay, we're crying. I'm just so lost.
So weird.
I mean, I feel like we could start reading from the middle.
Yeah.
Like the Kirbo was saying in the.
Oh, are you talking about the real Ibn Ezra?
Or
the fake Ibn Ezra? The Miyuchas. Okay, yeah. Is that on the first page or second page?
First page.
First page. Okay, so first page, last line says, hold on, I gotta scroll up. Bekirbo, Kolomar, Bekirav Libo. Okay, fine. Yashis is Hamirma. Shiachshov Laramos Re'ehu. So he plots to deceive his friend. V'chi yadaber tachanunim hasone al tamin bo. Ki sheva toevos shis avim Hashem heim belibo la'asosam. He's got 7 abominations that Hashem hates in his heart to do. V'heim hanis karim lamala b'pasuk sheish hena Okay, so it lists all the 7 in earlier in Mishlei. So he's saying Dafka 7, like those 7, which it lists in Mishlei Parak Vav. We're not going to go there because we have to learn what all those are.
Someone said something like that. Sajigon, I thought was maybe saying something similar.
Yeah.
Because he says he harbe, like he changed his sheva to harbe.
Yeah.
Which says min ha-toevos. Like as if there is like a set number of them and he has a bunch of them.
Yeah, right. Right.
Similar.
Right. It's just not different than saying Davka, those 7 that he lists. Let me actually look at, I did not print the Ralbag for you because that was in the back of the Mishlei. I'm just going to read Ralbag. He's also good usually. All right, Bisvasav Yinakir. Hine hasone yisabe v'bisvasav shalei yakiru sinaso ach bekirbo yashis mirma lilkod son oberishto. Okay, fine. So the hater or the enemy brings about through his lips, causes you to not recognize his hatred, but in his heart he places deceit to ensnare the one who he hates in his trap. Okay, fine. Nothing new here. Kihanin kolo ki yomar divrei chen. When he says words of favor, al tamin bo, don't believe him. Achar shiadata shu sone. Once you know that he is a sone. Ki belivo toevos rabos, because in his heart there are many abominations. V'alfa pi shebefiv yomar divrei chanufa v'chalakus. Even though his mouth is saying words of flattery and smooth talkingness. So all saying the same thing. It's just like don't get ensnared by his flattery. I'm not seeing ideas here. I'm seeing like a behavioral policy that like you shouldn't get ensnared by him. All right, let's go with another one you don't have. The Reuven Cosby, who says nothing. Let's go with another you don't have. The other Reuven Cosby says nothing. Let's go with the Shadal, says nothing. Let's go with the Malbim. Okay, Malbim has to help us because he explains every word, right? Help us, Malbim. Your only hope. Bisvasav Yinakir Sone. Shehu Hasone Asher Yinakir Bisvasav. So this is the enemy who estranges with his lips. Bidiburo Hachitzoni Yinakir Sinaso Kiluhu Ohev. So with his external speech, that's Svasav. That's a Malbim move. That Svas means external speech. He is disguising himself as though he's a friend. With the Kirbo, Yashis Eitzos Eich Laramos Ulahapila Lashafas. Lashaches, maybe, and within him, he's devising strategies to deceive you and to make you fall into destruction. With a nimshal, and in the nimshal, medaver min hatzavua, the died person, shechonif bisvasav blivo rachak mimeno, bisvasav yinakir shu ma'amin va'oved Hashem umirma umrame belibo. I don't know what the tzavua is. But he's saying it's about your relationship to Hashem. Okay. All right, fine. This is not helping. Okay.
Let's look at the marshal.
Yeah. I got one more hope.
The
moment the next passage also says the marshal nimshal thing. He says, "Ki yichani kol altamu l'chein lo tamin b'mesha b'kolo nidmesh machanin." Don't be deceived when he appears to be machanin with his voice. Ki belibo toevos rabos uvenimshal lo tamin imhu marbe betfila ki libo male toeva. I don't even know what the application would be like. Is it saying like don't get taken in by this guy's religious actions? Like in what context? I don't even know. All right, I'm going to now look in Sadi Gon's actual Mishlei commentary, not just the Targum. So let's see.
Does the Malbim have the same like premise about what Mishlei is doing?
No. Drastically different. Okay, Sadi Gon 24 says, I gotta find it. Oh, don't tell me he doesn't have a commentary. 20. So he connects 23, 24, 25, and 26. So I'm just going to read it without the pesukim. Hisnakrus ras behefech ha'emes. So hisnakrus means showing what's the opposite of the truth. Bein shahayatov ra, whether for good or for bad. Kamosha amar achia le'eshes yiravam lamazeh at misnakara. Like Achia said to the wife of Yeravam. Anyone know what that's talking about? Okay.
It's not.
Why is it that you're disguising yourself? Oh, I know what this is talking about. Yeah, okay. So Achia was blind. He's a Navi, okay, but he was blind. And like he was very old at this time. And then the wife of Yeravam disguised herself and snuck into the southern kingdom, I think, in order to try to get a nevuah from him. And as soon as she walks in, he's like, "What are you doing, wife of Yeravam?" And like he sees through her disguise, even though he's blind. It's a pretty epic moment. Yeah. The Efshar she and then he gives her a nevuah that her son's going to die. The Afshar Shiye Dolkim near Dafim min Dalekus Acharai. So this is the previous pasuk. V'hu hardafas hadavarim klomer shi davar ritzufim v'al pishish kan davarim rabim asher pishtem hevach tocham. Okay, I'm just going to skip down to where he explains our pasuk because he talks a lot about that one. And the last one is harder to translate, I think. Okay, here we go. V'kivin shekava es hamashal hazeh amar bisvasav yinakir sonia kacha oyev yira'e lecha es atmo b'levush yedid. So the enemy is going to disguise himself in the garments of a friend. Kedei levakish davar mima'oros ha'olam, in order to seek things from, I don't know, ma'oros ha'olam, from the events of the world. Ki chanin kolo, when he ingratiates his voice. Amar altis rameh b'meshetire b'chitzon yuso. Do not be deceived by what he makes himself appear on the outside. Lafish in harasha belibo kishiuro be'enecha, because the evil in his heart is not the measure that you see with your eyes. Ela pi kama, but it's many times more than that. Ki sheva toivos belibo, because there are 7 abominations in his heart. V'hu k'moshe hera Yoav la'avner v'amasa ad shehargam. K'moshi Ramash Yishmael ben Nasanya as Gedalia ben Achikam ad shehargo. I knew the Gedalia one because we fast about that. So in other words, he's saying, so here he's saying the mistake is different. Is it's a quantitative mistake. Is you're like, okay, he's got hatred in his heart, or he's got bad in his heart, but it's not that bad, and that's why he says no, it's 7 times. So can we he says more. I'm not going to go into it right now. So can we get out of this like something? Out of anyone? Anybody?
I'm a fan of what we said before, although I hate that we didn't do Mehiri.
Yeah, what did we say before?
About the turning over a new leaf. I think when someone is like, if someone doesn't like you, or you have a bad relationship with them, and then suddenly they want to move past it. I think it's very tempting to be like, oh, they actually got over it, and we can move past this, because you really don't want to have an enemy, and so I think it's very tempting to believe them, but saying don't fall prey to that, because.
Okay, so I think you just talked me out of the idea, and I'll tell you why. Because if it just had the first pasuk, I would agree with that. But Sheva To'evos Belibo, To'evos to me seems like there's actual wickedness in their heart, not just a personal spat.
Okay. So I'm going to be an alternate explanation for the first pasuk.
yeah. If you took the first pasuk just alone, then that might work.
Maybe it's possible if they are taken on and they're talking about 2 different guys.
I don't think so, because ki, right? Ki cannot be a standalone pasuk.
When? No.
What?
You say ki means when.
Yeah, but who's it talking about? Who's kolo?
Everyone's trying to.
If you just read it on its, if you read it on its own, it's not going to be. It's not going to make sense. Yeah.
It's you read it on its own. Anyone who tries to find here from you, there's.
Let's check out one more bastion of hope here. The Rinachmias, bottom left. From his lips, the enemy makes himself known. Kederach ma shekasav tsachi halashon hasafasaim dale halashon. The lips are the buckets of the tongue. is that Dali? Isn't Dali a bucket?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. V'tam hapasuk ki hashas b'kirbo mirma yivadea bispasav shusone. So someone who has deceit in his midst, his lips will make it known that he's a sone. Ki lashono megale pri kirbo. Who's using the pre analogy? His tongue will reveal the fruits of his innards. V'nuchal lefarish yanaker min v'yisnaker elokim. Alehem. He estranged himself to them. That's the Yosef. Shomer echad b'peh ve'echad b'leiv. He was saying one thing with his mouth and had another thing in his heart. Mar lecha bisvasav she'ino soneh v'hu sona'acha b'kirbo. So this guy is acting as though he with his lips as though he doesn't hate you, but he hates you inside. So someone who has that mida, you got to be careful from. Like, so that's like what you were saying. It's a certain type of person, but here he's saying it's a duplicitous person.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good so far. I think this is a question, right? So why so much? Maybe you're not telling Zakav. Maybe you're going to be saved from his harm. But look what's written next. Don't believe him. Yikes. It's like honey that has poison in it. Lethal poison in it. There are 7 abominations in his heart. So that's the 7 that were mentioned in chapter 6. Or you can say Sheva Lashon Riboy. Fine. Bereshis Rabba. Kisheva toivos belibo chizkia turgamine amar kif shivim toivos belibo 70. At timsa toeva achas ksuba v'torah uksiva eser lo yimatze b'cha ma'avir beno ubito be'esh kosim ksamim onin monach jemachashef v'chover chaver v'sha'al ov v'yidani v'dorsh el hamesim ki toeva toavos Hashem kol ose ele. Right. So it says. You find 1 toeva in the Torah, but then there's written 10. So I guess you got to multiply each one by 10. So if you have 7, then that's really 70. Kan shekasav sheva al achas kama v'kama. So here it's a 7, even more so. Okay, so here he's giving us a different thing, right? So if someone is, this almost seems to be too obvious. Oh, I got an idea now. Okay, here we go. Someone is duplicitous. You know someone to be echad b'peh v'echad b'leiv, right? So it's telling you not to trust that person. The question is, well, obviously, why would you trust that person? So I think the mistake. So why would you trust the person despite your knowledge that he's echad b'peh v'echad b'leiv?
Because you think, well, sometimes he's not going to be that, and I'm figuring out when. Yeah.
So I think though the cause though is more on the I. I am smart enough to see past his trickery. Like the it's you recognize he plays everyone else, but I'm no fool. He can't play me. And nope, like that's what all the other guys said, like you can, he can fool you just like he fooled them. Yeah. I
was going to say something like that. And like, just to bring an analogy.
Yeah.
So my dog takes medicine like once a month, 2 different things. And they try to make it taste good, but he doesn't like the taste of it.
Yeah.
So you have to trick him into eating it. Like, put it in some other food and give it to him.
Yeah.
Sometimes like he'll just like eat the food around it and not take the medicine. But sometimes you can trick him into doing it. The bottom line is every time he like gets like some really good food, which obviously we don't normally give him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I get some food. And then he always realizes after like they just tricked him. He's a dog. So he's gonna be fooled every time. But it's like, don't be a dog.
We are the dog.
10 times.
Yeah.
The person has 7 abominations in his heart. Like, it's not like he has some sins. No, he has 7 toevos in his leg.
Like he's got a track record of success as a Rasha. Yeah.
Right. Like that's a person who's always going to be putting the medicine in there every time, and he's always going to get you. Yeah. And obviously, medicine's good, but
That's good. Yeah. All right. So I don't know. It seems to me, I hate to say this, but like, it just seems like this is not as deep of a pasuk as we usually have. It just is a like hitting you over the head with this like idiot. Don't be an idiot, and like be tricked by this guy's talking to him. And then the only question is like, what exactly are the circumstances and what is the trap? Like that's like the very small maneuvering space for like what the idea is.
Yeah, it feels like the Mishlei pasuk is like the fourth summary of another Mishlei pasuk.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. All right, let's stop here for today. All right, thanks for indulging me trying this one at least.
Thanks.
Yeah.